Judy's famous chicken soup. Yum-o. I think I'll just have me some. Oh, okay, we might just try that again. Give it a stir, that might help. Oh, that is just not going to work. 3 times lucky, I'm going to try one more time. That is not going to work. You think there would at least be a spoon around somewhere. Oh, soup. I love soup. Chicken.
Ah, and all those yummy veggies. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is not working. I'm getting the big bits, but I'm leaving all the little bits behind. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm starting to really get angry about this. Oh, I give up. Seriously, you can't drink soup with tongs. Oh, if only I had a spoon. You know what? There's a kitchen over there. I'm going to see if there's some food. I'm sure there's going to be something there I can eat. Oh, I'm so angry.
Ooh, my favourite chicken soup. I'm still staying hungry. I'm not getting full. I wish I had a spoon.
Good morning. And good morning to people online and those who are at Austral. Big wave to you guys. We're so delighted that you're joining us today. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mel. I'm a biblical counsellor, which means I help people with all the sad and hard things in life from a biblical foundation. I also teach at Bible College. I teach counselling subjects and chaplaincy subjects, which is it's great fun as well. Now, I have some good news for you today. Actually, I have some very good news for you. But first, a question. When do you feel closest to God? You have 44 seconds to discuss that with your neighbour. Okay, so now we'll get some of your answers, and I think we're going to start in this section. Does anyone want to share? Just we just have a sentence, not a life story. So, I feel God when I'm at the beach, for example. Just really quick like that. Yes?
Yep, just when I'm alone talking to him.
Awesome, thank you. Someone else in this section? Just say Mark running from one end to the other. We'll go section by section. So the first, sorry, for the people online, so the first one, it was when they're close to God.
I feel God. I can feel God like when I'm down, like in depression and other things. He brings me up.
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. So when you're feeling down and depressed, God is close. Thank you. Now we'll go to the middle, or maybe along the back. Yes, someone along the back.
Through the hard times when you feel like you just can't get through what you're going through.
Yeah, yep, God is close to you in the hard times. Thanks for sharing. Now in the middle section, get a couple of volunteers.
I feel close to God when I'm in nature or I can see nature, so trees, birds, animals, that sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. Creation makes us closer to the Creator, doesn't it? Yes. Front row.
At the youth camps, Uprising and Jastic.
Yes, yep. So when you're in fun camps with other youth people, you just feel God's presence there. Thanks for sharing. Okay, this section. Keeping him busy. Oh, up the back, yes. Oh, an online answer. Excellent.
Few answers from the folk online. They said in nature. One says watching the sunrise at the beach. One says in worship. And one says learning new meaning in scripture.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, for putting those in the chat. That's awesome. Is there anyone from this section who'd like to share? When do you feel closest to God? Oh, down the front.
when I'm journaling or when I purposely make an effort to draw close to Him.
Yes, yeah, that's beautiful. And as you write, it's like, yeah, talking to Him and being with Him. That's lovely. Thank you for sharing those. And so you may have guessed today's topic is God is near. And it's a beautiful truth for all of us today. And I hope you go away excited and thankful that God is always near to you. And there's a beautiful verse in Romans 8:35, which says, "Can anything ever separate us from Christ's love? Does it mean He no longer loves us if we have trouble or calamity or are persecuted or hungry or destitute or in danger or threatened with death? No, despite all these things, overwhelming victory is ours through Christ who loved us." It's a long list there, isn't it? It's a little bit negative, maybe a little bit depressing, but it actually prepares us for these things that will happen to us in life. The Bible clearly states that there will be trouble. It doesn't lie and say life is going to be all golden, all sunshine. There's actually going to be trouble. You will have trouble. And you need to know that God will be near you in all of those things, and that's the hope. It's real, but there's also hope. That's why I love the Bible so much. It says so much about everyday issues that we have. And why is He with us? Because He loves us. He chose you. You are the daughter and son of the King of Kings. You are royalty. And how beautiful is that? Romans goes on to say, "And I am convinced that nothing, absolutely nothing can ever separate us from God's love, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither our fears for today nor our worries about tomorrow. Not even the powers of hell can separate us from God's love." Don't you want to shout hallelujah when you read that? It's just so beautiful, so beautiful. No power in the sky above or in the earth below, indeed nothing in all creation will ever be able to separate us from the love of God that is revealed in Jesus Christ, our Lord. And that's a beautiful, wonderful, life-giving truth for all of us today. And we're going to have a very quick look at 3 false views about God's nearness and then replace those with 3 of the truths of that. So firstly, a lot of people feel that God is distant because they don't feel Him. So when Vivica was eating her soup, she said because she couldn't feel that there were spoons nearby, that maybe there weren't spoons there. Her head might have said, "Oh, this is a kitchen, there's a kitchen there, surely there'd be spoons there," but because she couldn't feel it, she chose something else instead. And how often do we think, "Oh, I can't feel God, so He's not there." And we base so much on our feelings. But there's a little problem with that, isn't it? There's a little problem with that. If I go to the bank and say, "Look, I feel like I have enough money to buy this house," are they going to give me a loan for a house? No, my feelings should be secondary to the facts that, I've been working for all these years, I have a deposit, I've got a secure job, I'd like to buy this house, would you loan me some money? They're going to say yes based on facts, aren't they? Not feelings. But our feelings are loud. They scream at us, don't they? They want to be the top. They want to be the top, and we have to fight with God's help and God's Spirit in us to put those feelings secondary to the facts. And what is the truth? That God is distant even when we don't feel Him. The truth is God is close. And all Vivica had to do was turn around, and beautiful Carmen was there, not just with one spoon, but lots of spoons for her to choose from. God is there, whether we feel Him or not. The fact is He's there, and He's just waiting, and all we need to do is turn to Him, and we will experience Him in a beautiful way. And I've walked with Jesus all my life. I went to church before I went home from the hospital. My parents went to church on the way home from hospital when I was tiny. I've always known Jesus. He is the most precious thing to me in the entire world. And there have been seasons where there's been some dryness in that journey. There's been some seasons where there's been an abundance of growth and closeness. And that's okay. That's okay. It's a journey with Him. But regardless, I read my Bible. I want to stay close to Him. Now, to be really honest, I'm in the middle of Numbers and Leviticus, and they're a bit dry. They're a little bit dry. There's a lot of numbers in Numbers, and a lot of offerings and sacrifices for a zillion billion things in Leviticus. But I'm just persevering through that because I know I'm going to get to and I know there's a purpose in that and it's all good, but I'm looking forward to some more helpful passages or more applicable passages for that, and that's all fine. But the truth is, God is near even when you don't feel him. And you can state the lie, bring it to the light. Say, I don't feel that you're near, but I'm going to act like you are. I'm going to keep believing that you are. You are close. False view number 2 is that God is absent, that God is actually not with me in this current situation. And we saw Sandy there, that she got quite angry at the fact that there wasn't a spoon right there to eat her soup. And we do, don't we? We get angry at God and we get sad at God when he doesn't act the way that we think he should act. How big is your God? See, just a little bit bigger than you? Or is he so big you can't even imagine how big he is? And he's so big that to me he's a little bit strange at times. He does things that I go, that doesn't look good. But he's so much bigger than me, and I've walked with him for so long that I know he's still good, that he's good, that thing that looks weird to me is a good thing in his scheme of things. And because I know who he is, I can trust that in him. It's like the 2-year-old, and I've used this illustration before, I use it all the time, the 2-year-old who thinks mum and dad are mean because this bowl's not filled with lollies every night for dinner. In that 2-year-old little brain, that makes sense, doesn't it? This isn't colourful. You know, where's all the lollies and things? You've given me green things for dinner. And that's when I'm wondering about some of the things that God chooses to do in other people's lives. I think, I'm not sure about that. I remind myself, a parent and a child have this much difference. Myself and God has an infinite difference. And I know he is good and kind, and his word reminds us of that over and over again. But we can feel angry or sad when we don't see him at work in our way in that situation. But the truth is, God is present with you. But be real. Be real about those emotions. Say, I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling this. He knows anyway. But don't be scared to express that to God. It's okay to say, I feel really sad about this. I feel really angry. God, I'm really, really tired about this. Some of you know Mark and I are in between houses. Our house has been completely finished and is just sitting there since before Christmas. And we are still waiting to get in for administration reasons. We're just waiting for the things to happen that we need to. And it's just like, we're just waiting and waiting. And there's emotion for that. There's been a few tears about that. We've tried different avenues to hurry along the process and it just hasn't happened. I don't know why our beautiful house is standing there empty. But I know there's a purpose for that. And maybe we get to experience the kindness of people who have opened their homes to us. First people we stayed with were strangers. They opened their home to us. People we're staying with now, Guy and Wendy, are the kindest, most beautiful people you can ever meet, even if they do beat you at card games. Now, the third false view is that God is not kind and good because he's not fitting into what I think kind and good looks like. He's not kind and good. And so they go and look for other options. And so that very handsome man that was eating the soup with the the chopsticks, thought, this is not working, I'll go and look for something else to do that. And you see people spend their entire life looking for other things, don't they? Because God is kind and good doesn't fit what they think it should look like. But the truth is, God is always kind and good because he is kindness and he is goodness. And when you go through the valley, you can look for the treasures in that darkness that you don't find in the sunshine. And it's transformational and it's beautiful and it helps you draw closer to Jesus than ever before. And when I look back over my 55, 56, I always forget how old I am, all these numbers, look back over those years, I can see that those valleys were beautiful times of growth for me. and has helped me be able to relate to so many other people in the counselling space because I've journeyed in those things as well. Now, I'm a few weeks out of a 9-month cancer journey, and that was a season of darkness. It is not fun to have your body pumped with poison. And they talk about chemo fatigue. It's not fatigue, it's like this huge weight is on your body. Everything is just so heavy you can barely stand up. And so you have a shower and you have a complete nap, full out nap, completely deep sleep for an hour. Then you have enough energy to get up and maybe make a piece of toast that you can't taste anyway, but you know you need to eat. Then you have another hour-long nap. I'm a list person, I'm a doer, I'm a people person, and when you can't do all of those things, your world becomes very small. And to deal with physical pain, emotional pain, it's just really hard. And 9 months is a really long time to be really sick. It's not fun. It's not fun. But in that darkness, there were some beautiful treasures. Even with waiting for my new house to be open for me to enter, I have learnt so much more patience. In the hospital system, you do a lot of waiting. So I filled a lot of puzzle books, had a lot of beautiful conversations with different people, and now I'm stuck in a traffic jam, and it's like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal at all because I can do patience. I can do waiting. I'm pretty good at that. There's this sense of peace. There's this sense of peace because I know practically now that there is so much that I can't control. You know, not that I could control it before, but I thought I could. And when you can't say, yes, I will definitely be there on Saturday because you don't know what the poison's going to do in your body and whether you'll be able to get there. And for a talker, for a people person, when your mouth is full of blisters that it hurts to swallow, and you can't talk to people, that's really isolating as well. And it's like, where does my worth come from? Who am I when I'm not helping people, when I'm not doing, when I'm not achieving? I'm the loved daughter, the chosen daughter of the King of Kings. And there's peace in that, going, I don't need to be, I don't need to do, I just need to be loved. And that's a beautiful place. The third thing is perseverance. When you're in a long, dark period, you learn just to do each day well. And that was our motto. We just wanted to do each day well. So there were just so many internal things that I grew in that. But I think one of the most beautiful parts is the kindness of people. I tried to find a word for kindness that was also P, but I thought, oh, well, people, yeah, for their kindness. You are just overwhelmed with the kindness of people. If you've ever tasted Jess Graham's Greek lasagna, even when you don't have the best taste buds, it was simply amazing, just so good. Glenda's scones, perfection, just beautiful. And yeah, just so many texts and prayers and kindness from so many people. Just so grateful to God. Now, is God kind and good when you go through a valley like that? In my little mind, it's not what I would choose to give my best friend. But is our God kind and good in the hard, in the dark? And maybe I had to go through this journey for somebody else to go, there's something different about that girl. The oncologist, the radiologist, the specialists, the nurses could often said, you are very different to many of our patients. It took 5 doctors one day an hour to try and find a vein for some blood. They ended up putting the needle in my foot. And I'd learnt patience by then. And they were so apologetic. And I kept saying, it's okay, you know, it'll happen. So I wasn't allowed to go home from hospital until they'd done that. And there are those sorts of moments and then some of the beautiful conversations I was able to have with other people in the waiting room that may have brought them to Jesus. And if one person is now with Jesus and now is loved by my precious Jesus too, then it's okay. It is okay. Because in the bigger scheme of things, it's not all about me. And if I had to endure this for him or for that one person, that's okay. That is okay. And I don't know but one day I will know. And so many of you were praying that I would be healed. And you know what? I always knew that I would be healed. I just didn't know if it was going to be in this life or the next. Because it's just a little bit of disappointment that I'm not sitting with my precious Jesus this morning, having a big feast and singing away and singing in tune and all of that. But there is joy that I get to spend a little bit more time with my lovely husband, that I get to love my grandchildren, and that I get to serve him in the counselling space for that. And so I hope you go away today with the undisputable fact that you are loved by a good and kind God. You will have valleys, you will have darkness, but there are treasures in that darkness for you to find. You will be transformed by those, and you will become closer to God than you could ever imagine, and it's a pure delight to be that close to the God of all. And we'll just finish with Psalm 145, verse 18. The Lord is close to all who call on him. Yes, to all who call on him in truth. And as we sing this last song, I'd like you to think about just your normal week and how can you put in just a little bit more time with him? How can you turn to him and be near to him? And one thing I did was just in my short car trips now, I have no music, no sound, I just have silence. And the first few times it was like, my brain went into hyper mode. I'd think about so much, I wasn't used to silence. And now I love it. I love it. If I've got my 10, 15-minute car trips, I have silence and it's just me and Jesus talking with no distractions. But on longer trips, I'd have my Christian radio on or some praise music. And what I've been finding more and more is I go, I might turn that off and just spend a long time just chatting with my Jesus for that. So as you sing this last song, just talk to him and say, I want to turn to you. I know you're near. And have a think about how can you put more of Jesus into your day. He loves you. He's waiting, just waiting to show you his love, his peace, his joy, and his kindness. You are his. You are his. Live loved.